What's good, party people?
I'm Josh.
And I'm Chris.
And we are
Cosmigos.
Cosplay.
What? Where? When? Why? How?
Yeah, Chris. So, how did you get into cosplaying?
It's actually a really good question. So, there I was, just chilling on my personal Facebook page. I didn't really have any idea what the cosplay world was. But then I met a guy a couple years ago, and he was a Star Wars cosplayer. And I started asking him questions about that, and he showed me all the pictures of all of his Star Wars cosplay. So at that point, I started researching things, and I never thought I had the means to do it. I just always admired cosplay from afar, and I was like, I'll never have the time or resources to ever bring any of the things, characters to life. And as I grew with more characters that I liked, it just urged me to want to bring them to life, get more interested in the cons, seeing it from afar, and just wanted to be a part of it. So how about yourself? How'd you get into cosplay?
Alright, so fun story. It was 2016. Yeah, 2016. My buddy, Roland Rage, he said, "Hey man, check out this video I posted on YouTube. It's of me at New York City Comic Con." I was like, "Why?" Whatever. I don't know. So, let's go a little before that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Comic Con was like an ice hockey rink with no ice,
Right.
just a concrete.
Right.
It's a bunch of vendors selling comic books.
Right.
And they all some are $1,000 million, others 25 cents.
Right.
All I thought it was. So I'm like, okay, whatever, check out the video, and all of a sudden you see all these people in these costumes, cosplaying, and you really don't see much of any comic books, just video game characters, movie characters, TV show
Right.
characters, all these people dressed up, and I was like, oh, wow, this is really cool looking. Some of these costumes look amazing. I was like, wait, this is what Comic-Con is? He's like, yeah, why? What'd you think it was? Then I kind of referenced, I thought you just buy comic books there, and I don't read comic books or watch anime, so why would I care? So yeah, it was my first experience, and then I was like, okay. So he lives in upstate New York. Comic-Con New York City is far away. We're an hour and a half from New York City, 2 hours away. It's all right, man, how about next year you come stay at my house Friday night, we'll go Saturday, and you buy me I'll give you the money, you get me a ticket, and I'll go with you because, I got to see this in person. So 2017 is when I went. I went as me, and I was blown away by all these cosplayers.
Right.
It was insane. I was like, oh my god, I have to come back next year and I have to do something. And that's when I got my first cosplay,
Right.
Sub-Zero Mortal Kombat X. And that's kind of how I got into it, and from there I was just more of, okay, I need to do it better, bigger, and that was the start of my cosplay. So the first year I cosplayed was actually 2018.
Nice. So this past weekend we attended Harrisburg PopCon, and we got in touch with some pretty well-known cosplayers, and we asked them a few questions, including how they got into cosplay. And let's see what they had to say right about now.
So what's your name?
My name is Scotty B.
How long have you been cosplaying for?
3 years now.
What got you into cosplay?
Used to attend conventions, and it was fun looking at everybody else doing it, and I thought it'd be fun to try. So about 3 years ago, I went as Captain America to New York Comic Con, and the rest is kind of history, just kind of expanded from there.
What have you done since Captain America cosplay?
Added 2 more Wolverines, and a new Captain America comic book style, Cable, and Punisher, and Hawkeye. I try to go comic book style with all of my cosplays versus movie or that type of thing.
Nice. So what's your name?
My name's Charlie Schauble.
How long have you been cosplaying for?
Oh, probably about 4 years.
So what got you into cosplay?
I actually just started wanting to portray my favorite characters from anime and such, and my wife enjoyed it, so we started doing it together, and that was pretty much it. I mean, I started watching the Heroes of Cosplay with Yaya Han, and that kind of spurred me to start doing it.
So what's your name?
I'm Zadra Cosplay.
How long have you been cosplaying for?
I have been cosplaying for a full 11, going on 12 years now.
It's a long time.
Yeah, it is a long time.
So what got you into cosplaying?
I actually, years ago, I was very, very overweight as a teenager, and I was very depressed, really, really wanted to lose weight, and I wanted to cosplay at the same time, always wanted to cosplay, so I chose a costume I really wanted to do as a goal to lose weight, which was Zero Suit Samus. And after about a year and a half or so, I actually managed to lose a full 100 pounds by doing that. And so it was kind of just a motivator. And I didn't really know how to craft anything back then, but once I started getting into the cosplay, I started learning more things, I started getting better, and I'm really good at armor now, so I've learned so many skills over the years in cosplay.
That's awesome. We look great, so congratulations
Thank
on
you.
all the weight loss.
Thanks.
So what's your name?
Kia, like the car.
Kia, cool. How long have you been cosplaying for?
For about 4 or 5 years.
What got you into cosplaying?
I used to watch a lot of anime as a kid, and I thought it was really cool, and I always wanted to be the character, so I did.
What's your favorite cosplay?
The Shade from Evil Within. Super scary.
Nice. That's going to be tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Definitely have to see some of that.
Oh, yeah.
So what's your name?
I'm Maya Cat Cosplay.
How long have you been cosplaying for?
Just over 3 years, so I'm kind of a baby still.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Like a year.
Yeah. Oh, you're a real baby.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
So what got you into cosplay?
Well, I've always kind of been artistic, and I've always been a nerd, and cosplay is being a nerd and being artistic and creating things, and I really like that. So I just kind of fell into it by accident. Yeah, it was accident.
I like your eyes, by the way.
Thank you. Honey Color. That's where I get all of my contact lenses.
That's
They
where I
don't
got
sponsor
mine.
me.
I keep forgetting what honey. I'm like honeycomb, honey something. It's from honey. I know.
Yeah,
That.
honeycolor.com. Sponsor me.
So what are your names?
Erica, but online at Nika Cosplay.
Okay.
I'm Allie. Online, I am Alexandra.linear.7.
How long have you guys been cosplaying for?
I've been cosplaying for about 15 years. I would say I've been cosplaying for about 8. Started with her when I was a teenager. She brought me to my first convention.
Okay. Which one was that?
Otakon. Otakon, yeah. She was still in high school, and so are some of my other siblings and cousins. I just gathered all the children and informed the parents I am taking them to Otakon with me. Yeah.
So what got you into cosplaying?
Well, I've been a huge anime fan for a really long time, and a friend of mine told me about Otakon and about cosplay and about this whole big community, which just fascinated me. So I went to my first Otakon, just as me, and immediately wanted a costume. I just wanted to dress up and run around with all the crazy folks and have a blast.
That's how it was for me too.
Yeah.
So I understand.
Yeah.
What about you?
My sister definitely got me into cosplaying a lot. Bringing me to my first convention, I just fell in love. We cosplayed as Elfen Light characters, and it was the most fun that I've ever had. So I was like, I have to do this again. And I mean, kind of nerd blood runs in the family, I would say. We always loved to nerd out, watch cartoons, animes together.
Star Trek.
Very, very tight-knit family.
Yeah.
So now that we know why you cosplay, what are your current cosplays?
So I currently cosplay Deadpool, but it's a Deadpool Weapon X color variant. So my colors are, or you can say inverse Deadpool, where it's primarily black with red leather accents on it. Then I do a new Rob Liefeld character that he created named Major X. That's what I was wearing at the Keystone Con out in Philadelphia.
Who is Major X?
Who is Major X?
For those of you that don't know.
So Major X.
Such as myself.
Major X is a brand new character to the X-Men world. So back in the 90s, Rob Liefeld, he had this character just tucked away in his back pocket as he was working on a whole bunch of other things. And then it was he started working on it, and its first issue came out in April. And I thought it was amazing because I never was there for a big name comic book writer to be there for the first issue right when it first came out. So as soon as I found out that that was coming out, I jumped on the first issue, and I've been following it ever since. I mean, it was originally supposed to be I think it's supposed to be a 6-issue miniseries, but then they came out with another issue, which they probably already knew was going to be there. They just teased a 6, but it's cool. I'm not hating. I like it. So so I followed that. So he's a new character. I don't want to spoil anything from you, but I will give you this as a very interesting read. It's a great flashback to how comics were written in the 90s with the comic book art and the fight scenes and just the general tone of how the comics are. It may get a little confusing because of how it jumps around, but I mean that's what happens when you go through different universe kind of things, different timelines. I mean, you got to be expected. You can't be mad at that. But I really liked it, and it's really cool. And a lot of people, I mean, I picked up on the hits as soon as I saw what he looked like under his helmet. I knew exactly who I would say his mom was. After you find out who his dad is, you're like, cool. But looking at him, it's like, all right, I know who your mom is, and you don't find that out until the end. But yeah, it's a great, interesting read. Very short series so far, but it's a new X-Men character that's introduced, and it takes place in the 90s. So that's that. And then my last character that I'm currently working on, I mean, I'll have other characters, well, one in the process of working on is the Blue Spirit. So all my Avatar: Last Airbender fans out there, I'm representing for that. If you don't know who that is, it's like Prince Zuko's like hidden identity kind of person. It's Prince Zuko is my favorite character from the show in general, so I'll probably do one of those, and you have no idea who
No, I
he is
have no
whatsoever.
idea.
But that's another show that was super influential to my life growing up. I love it, and I'm part of like huge groups on Facebook about them where we just like debate different characters and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that'll be done by Halloween. I couldn't remember what Halloween was for a second, so
It's next month.
But how about yourself? What are your current cosplays?
Alright, so I have Sub-Zero Mortal Kombat X, but I kind of like altered it a lot, which is cool because Mortal Kombat 11 you can customize your fighters. So I guess it's a Mortal Kombat X/11 variant Sub-Zero. It's actually my first cosplay, which we'll get into that some other time. But
Great.
second cosplay is actually, it's a Sith Sub-Zero crossover. So it is a Sith. I do have a lightsaber, but it follows the Sub-Zero colors and pattern.
Right.
And also a facial mask, which is actually the facial mask I actually have right here from DC vs. Mortal Kombat. So this is 3D printed. It's the one that's too big, so I do have one that I use. It was just a model of what it was going to look like. So that's my second one. And then my third one, which I just finished literally 2 days ago,
Right.
except for this wig that's just literally killing me, is Dante from Devil May Cry 5, the newest game in the Devil May Cry series. So I just finished that. I'm pretty happy with that, just the whole wig thing. I don't know how to work a wig, so I'm learning, but once I get the wig thing perfect, it's going to look amazing.
It's gonna be flawless.
Yes, because each piece was individually bought and custom made, so. But,
Yeah, 'cause I know
so-
you were working on building that for like a while, because we were talking about it, and like,
yeah.
I know we were messaging each other. I was like, dude, just do it. You know, you
Yeah,
wanna
and
do
I
it.
was like, okay,
Just do
I
it.
can buy it as one piece from a website, but the quality's not going to be there in all the
Right,
pieces. Sometimes
right.
half the pieces just suck, and we'll get into that in another video.
Yeah,
but-
absolutely. Because I've had the same issues with like my cosplays, and just we'll get into how much effort it actually took to put all of our cosplays together.
But yeah, so those are my current 3 ones. I'll probably remain that way for at least a year and a half before I look for something new, because I really don't know what else I want to do, because I don't watch anime. I'm not really big into comics, so for me it's about video games and finding a really cool character that I enjoy, or a video game series that I enjoy playing.
Right, and me on the opposite end, like as soon as I find a character that I really want to do, I start finding ways to start building that cosplay. Because like in my on my like social media, like I have a couple, but like I have maybe 3 or 4 others in the pipeline that I know are coming, and I don't release stuff until I start actually buying the pieces for it. So
Nice. At the Harrisburg PopCon 2019, we also asked cosplayers how cosplay has benefited them. So, roll the footage. And how has cosplay benefited you?
The making part of it is very relaxing. Kind of the troubleshooting aspect of building costumes. That's a good feeling of achievement. It's great when you go out wearing it and people really take notice of it. That's really a good time. And I've been using it now to raise money for charity with the Philadelphia Avengers. So, we're trying to use it as a means to give back to society too.
What charities do you guys usually give to?
Juvenile diabetes, children's cancer of different variations, and Toys for Tots is our next one.
Awesome, yeah. I was in the Marine, so I did that for many years.
Yep.
I know all about Toys for Tots.
Very cool.
And how has cosplaying benefited you?
It's allowed me to show my nerd side and still have a daily life and it helps me connect with a lot of other people. It allows me to create a side business of my own, CS Custom Props. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and allows me to make custom props for cosplayers and for conventions and even for Halloween and things like that. So it gives me a lot of freedom and it lets me enjoy myself and go out and have fun.
So I assume you made all this yourself on your costume?
The only parts that I personally didn't make were the actual fabric bits, just because I'm not that great with sewing, but all the rest of it is made out of BBA foam or foam clay of some sort.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, what do you think cosplaying has? How does it benefited you from when you started?
Well, cosplay has definitely gotten me a huge friendship base. Like I have made so many friends. I have friends all over the country. I get to travel all the time because I go to cons in so many different states now. I've actually flown across the country for one, and I've met so many different people. And I love networking with people. I do video work too, and I cosplay, so I do video work. So it's a lot of fun.
And how's cosplay benefited you?
I learned to talk to people a lot more, and it helps me be myself, and I like it a lot.
So, how do you think cosplaying has benefited you though?
It's a creative outlet, and I can be creative. The biggest way it's benefited me is my friend base. Literally every single friend that I have right now I made through cosplay. So it means a lot to me because all of my friends, we all do the same thing. And cosplay is awesome because we could all be cosplaying from different fandoms, but we're all cosplaying, so we all have that in common. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so it's a lot of fun.
There's a unity there.
It is, yeah.
I think of
yeah.
it as rave culture, where all these people from different countries come together for one thing.
Yeah.
Cosplay is literally the same thing.
It is. I love it. And it's so supportive. Like, we all support each other, and it's so much fun.
It is. So, how has cosplaying benefited you?
I have always been a really big introvert, talking to people and being social has never come easy for me. Cosplay has really helped me come out of my shell and learn how to communicate with my fellow human beings that I don't know without sounding like a complete fool.
Yeah, same thing here. It, like, forces you to act a certain way and make you more comfortable talking to people. And
Exactly.
doing stuff. What about yourself?
For me, I just feel like it gives me a creative outlet, something that's just what I want it to be, and no one else has really an opinion or a say on how it's gonna get done. It's just what I want, and I really like that. So, I mean, hey, I got rockets strapped to my boobs, so.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you!
So Josh, how have you benefited from cosplay?
Good question. So as I said before, cosplaying has made me more extroverted, allowed me to communicate with people better, made approaching people a little easier, just kind of bringing up conversations with people a little easier than it has been in the past. I'm still working on that, but it's definitely getting easier, and you can network, meet all these different people with all these different skill sets, really meet people all over the place, and it really makes you part of something much larger than any of us is a part of. And we can take that and using that in a positive way to support nonprofits or help your local community does go a long way. So I think it benefits me in a positive way, of where I can give back to the community by doing something I enjoy. That's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
It's like a job that doesn't pay but has tons of benefits that you enjoy doing and want to do all the time.
Right.
But unfortunately, we can't do it all the time
Yeah.
because we have normal lives.
Yeah.
What about you? How do you think cosplay has benefited you so far?
Well, it's definitely increased my social skills by a lot, because I didn't realize how introverted I was. Like, in my mind, I think I'm a very social person, but then I get really socially awkward when I'm around people.
Oh yeah.
But like, it gives you the courage, like when you see other cosplayers, and you know, you learn how to approach people, and for a moment, you know, you have it's an icebreaker. It's like, oh, that's a really great costume. Oh, I'm wearing a great costume too. So it increases my social skills that way. Also, being able to give back to the community has really given me a different perspective on life, because, you know, like, going throughout your life, you take a lot of things for granted, but then when I cosplay, especially for kids that are going through so much more than I ever have in my life, it kind of helps me keep myself in check and put in perspective at, you know, I have a lot to offer to the world, and,
Yeah.
you know, cosplay is one way you can, brighten someone else's day. So I really enjoy that a lot.
What do you think this channel can bring to the cosplay community?
Well, personally, I hope that it brings like a fresh perspective to cosplay, especially breaking down like walls of like the stereotypes of who a cosplayer are and or who a cosplayer is and who can and can't cosplay. Like I know we've spoken to numerous cosplayers that if you saw them in real life, you'd have no idea that they were a cosplayer. So giving another like additional peek behind the curtain of who cosplayers are. Also, I just want to spread the wealth of information that we learned about doing different things and just like plugging anybody that, has a good perspective or a good idea about something. I just love sharing information about everything. How about you? What do you want?
Yeah, starting with what you said about the misconception. Like, I didn't know what cosplaying was. I thought Comic-Con, like I said before, was you go to a place and there's all these people like, buy my comic book, buy my comic book. My price is better than his price.
Right.
But then you get into this whole conception of cosplayers, this person that dresses up in these costumes, and you're like, and so everyone thinks, oh, you must be some 40-year-old virgin living in your parents' basement that's like 450 pounds, covered in acne, and has no friends in real life. But you really learn that that's a misconception.
Right.
That's not even close. I mean, some people are doctors, lawyers, teachers. I mean, just it's different people, different races, different genders, sexuality, skin color. It doesn't, like, nothing matters. It's all these people coming together for one common thing, and to show how supportive the community actually is and how everyone supports each other,
Right.
regardless of any of those attributes. So that's what I think I want to focus on, is just showing what cosplay really is and not what people think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part is also showing how so many cosplayers or organizations come together to do good in their local community and to help other people.
Right.
Which I think is a really cool concept, because if you like dressing up, you enjoy doing this, it's a way that people can learn about how they can get involved in these types of things to help their community
Sure,
or
yeah.
do good in the community while
Yeah.
still doing what they enjoy doing.
Absolutely.
So that's what we hope this channel is going to bring for you guys. Oh, one more thing. Yes. We also want to bring on people that artsy people that make their own props, costumes, and maybe show you guys ways where you can increase your due diligence as far as making your own props or costumes, and also increase ours, so that way in the future we can do more hands-on things rather than
Right.
having to buy things and make it more us or our thing.
Because like with this show, by no means we have years of experiences. Like, we're beginners just as a lot of other people are beginners, and I think that this show should really encourage people that have really wanted to get into cosplay or really wanted to learn how to do some type of craft. Like me myself, I have no experience in crafting whatsoever, but as long as you put in the time and effort and you want to practice it, like I just want to show you all that even me, no experience, never really used a hot glue gun in my life, and I can take it and make the basic things, and we just want to show that it's possible.
Well, guys, that's it for the show today. Next episode, I will be showing you guys in depth, in detail, my Sub-Zero Mortal Kombat X custom cosplay.
And I will be going over my custom Weapon X designed color scheme Deadpool that I've grown to love, inside and out.
Till next time, guys, peace out.